Well, this is it then, in the gorgeous English summer sunshine, Wembley Hurst. It's first game of the season. Welcome along, nice to have you with us. Alongside me, Chris Sutton and Richard Dunne, as they will be throughout the season, popping up here on BT Sport. I was going to say, if you missed the football, but you were out in Russia, and then you had about 2 days off before it all starts again.
I'm sick of football, Jake.
Never sick of football.
No, I'm not sick of football at all. Back with the Scottish season, of course, and today, you know, what a brilliant game. Maurizio Sarri coming in at Chelsea. Will there be a change of style? I think there will be. And Manchester City, can they retain the title back-to-back? We know it's extremely tough. So we'll find a lot out this afternoon.
The last team to retain the title, as Chris says, back in 2009, it is incredibly difficult to do it. But you kind of sense that if any team are well-equipped, it's a City side who haven't gone out and spent loads this summer. They know what they've got, and it's just about improving the players they already had.
Yeah, they won it by so much last season that it'll be difficult for anyone to catch them. But like you said, they've strengthened probably with Mahrez coming in, but they probably just want that one player to challenge Fernandinho in the centre midfield. But other than that, their squad is outstanding and was so far ahead of everyone else last year that it is going to be difficult.
And that one plays at Chelsea, Jorginho. I think Sarri said that they needed him more than Manchester City. So, you know, it looks like he's going to play this afternoon. And he's going to be a big player for Chelsea. They've spent big money on him, and they will want to return.
It's a little bit strange, isn't it, that the two main targets for City in the last two windows was Alexis Sanchez in January and Jorginho in the summer. They've managed to get neither of them.
It is strange, but it's also sets out, I suppose, a policy that City are doing, that they want these players, but they want the players to come for the manager, not for the money, you know, and that's the way, because I think for a long time they've been classed as this side who has so much money they can buy anyone, whereas now they're saying, listen, we're Man City, we're winning leagues, winning titles, come to us because you want to, not because you want the money. And they're even developing players now themselves. Hopefully this season we'll see Foden coming into the team a bit more, and that's the sort of thing I think as the club progresses that they'll want to see more of, is the academy players coming through.
It is a head scratcher though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
The best team in the country, and you don't want to sign for the best team? Very odd one.
OK, well, it's already 1-0 then, in that case, to Sarri, isn't it? We'll find out what happens today. Talking about young players, as you did, Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek, Ampadu, the future looks bright for Chelsea. Will they get some game time under Sarri? That's from Tim on Twitter. If you've got a question, get in touch with us. Does the World Cup make a difference, though, for young talent? Because we've seen young English players performing well. Maybe finally they'll get a chance.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a showcase this afternoon. It's, you know, a chance for Sarri to see, you know, young players in action at the highest level. The truth is when the likes of Hazard comes back in and Willian, it looks like game time will be limited.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's all great in pre-season, and we all want to see them when you come back after a good World Cup. But when it comes down to the crunch, managers tend to go with experience, and that's what's made it difficult for the Chelsea players in recent years.
Sarri's not here to finish 5th or 4th. You know, he's here to win things. He's never actually won a major trophy. So, you know, can he trust Hudson-Odoi, you know, for example? And, you know, I don't think he can in the big games. When Hazard comes back, you know, he will start.
If you're good enough, you're old enough, though, no?
Well, you are, but it's about picking the best team, the best players, and it will be as simple as that. Sarri needs you know, we saw Conte come in a couple of years ago, hit the ground running. Sarri needs the same sort of thing. You know, they're going to play a different style. And I think he said, you know, a couple of days ago, you know, Pep's had 2 years to mould his team. He's had 2.5 weeks. And he wants to play, you know, on the front foot, a pressing style, which was in contrast to the way Conte played, you know, counter attack. So, you know, I think he's an intense type of guy, reading a lot about, you know, he loves repetition, set pieces, 38 different sorts of corners I've been reading, attention to detail. You know, he's going to be an exciting appointment for the Premier League in Chelsea. OK, not major changes at City. One player has come in, though, is Mahrez. Mikey on Facebook says, is there room for Mahrez in Man City starting 11? And if so, who makes way from last year's title winners? It's a good question. Where does he fit in?
It is. We were talking about this earlier, and I'm not sure he does fit in at the moment. I think, like we seen last year with Bernardo Silva, where he took maybe 5 or 6 months to settle into the club and learn the tactics and how everything works. And then the second half of the season he took over a little bit and he played a few more games, and I can see something similar with Mahrez, where we know he's used to the league and we know he can almost single-handedly win games at times, but it's a difference between hitting teams on the counter-attack and actually having to go and break teams down. So I think for him it's just you'll have to be patient for a while and just play bit parts to start with, but we know the quality he has got, and he will be, I'd imagine, a top signing for City.
60 million for a backup player then. That's a lot of money. What it does, it adds that depth, that strength.
It's an option for Pep,
and Manchester City, ideally want to compete on all fronts. And when you look at Manchester City, there isn't a position really where they don't have that strength and depth now, and Mahrez is just another string to their bow. Would he be in the first 11? I don't think so. I wouldn't have thought he'd play ahead of Sterling. No.
Okay. Let's talk about the league then. It's the start of the season. It's the time when we can all try and make predictions, and you guys get egg on your face. I love the fact I only ask the questions, not answer them.
Who's
Liverpool. Liverpool. 170 odd million pounds has been spent. Is this enough to put them seriously in the title hunt alongside Manchester City?
Possibly. I still think they're missing a centre half. I think they've identified what they needed. I think they needed a holding midfielder. They needed probably someone with legs, who they've got now in Keita as well in midfield, and Fabinho to do the holding role. We know for a fact they needed a goalkeeper, because whatever happened, they couldn't decide on which one last year. They plugged the gap slightly with Van Dijk last year, but I just feel he needs a partner to go alongside him, and then they will be real challengers.
Lovren not good enough?
I think I was surprised actually with him in the World Cup. I thought he'd done very well, but I think over the course of a season, over the 38 games or 10 months, he'll make too many errors, and I think he makes them in big games. And I just feel they need that one more centre half who they can rely on, because if Van Dijk goes missing for any period of time, I think they'll struggle in that position.
Oh, it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? I mean, the goalkeeping situation was the one which needed sorting out, and I mean that's the question. How well is Alisson going to do at Liverpool? But this has to be their season, doesn't it? They've spent big money. I think Klopp said previously he wouldn't go out and sign players for that type of money. Credit to him, he's actually changed his mind.
And the game has changed as well, hasn't it? You just have to now go and
what do you do if you ultimately it's not about improving the squad, it's about improving that first 11, and Liverpool need to take the next step, and attacking wise never really been an issue, but defensively in the goalkeeping situation was the one they had to sort out. I thought they addressed the defensive situation by signing Van Dijk, the goalkeeper, though he had an absolute shocker last season, and they spent big bucks. He's a man under pressure, and that's a lot of Liverpool's season is going to be down to how Alisson plays. Manchester City, they had issues the season previous to last with Bravo. Brought Edison in, and I thought he was, the difference last season for City.
You talk about pressure on the goalkeeper. There's a bit of pressure as well on Jurgen Klopp, though, isn't there? When you come in and say, I'm not going to spend big, then you go and spend big, and you've got a record-breaking goalkeeper, a record-breaking centre-half. He has to win something. Liverpool need to win something. Yeah, of course. You have 5 or whatever years without a trophy. He's got to go and win a trophy.
I don't think so.
I
understand, and it's the same thing levelled at Pochettino. I understand that Spurs fans want Pochettino to win a trophy. It's if Liverpool run Manchester City close, play that brand of football, we talk about Manchester United, their brand of football being really underwhelming. Liverpool don't play that way. So if they finish second by a goal this season, get to the final of the Champions League, good run in the FA Cup, League Cup, do you think that they would sack Jurgen Klopp after that? Come on, it's not going to happen.
They might not sack him, but it's about winning, and he will want to win as well. He doesn't want to be known as the nearly man, does he? He's already got that tag.
I think if you get a reputation, which they're starting to get at the moment for, they're playing great football, they're getting to finals, but they're losing. And they'll think maybe if they lose again or come second again, they'll start thinking, well, have we got that manager? Is he out there that can just push us that one little step more? Because they all have good players, but they're just not winning when it comes to the thing. Is that down to the manager on the day, or what is it? So I think they'll want to win something this year, Liverpool.
So are you saying that if they don't win something, then Klopp could be sacked? That could be the end?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh,
progression is all about winning, and I think they've done amazing, but they have to win something.
It's about winning.
You ask the fans.
That's where you went wrong.
Quite right, fair.
When you listen to Liverpool fans, they're still going on about how long it is since they won the league, and they're not interested that they come second.
At this point, I would love to be asking some more of your questions. The only message on here at the moment is the tablet needs to cool down, and a large thermometer. So if you're wondering if it's warm pitch side, it is definitely warm pitch side. I'll put that in the shade and come back to it in a minute. Let's talk about another new manager. It's so exciting just to stand here and talk about new players, new managers, new faces, new challenges. Unai Emery at Arsenal. It's going to be strange, isn't it, seeing someone else in that Arsenal dugout to start with, but can he deliver?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting because you sort of look at the league for the last few years and you think, well, Arsenal aren't going to challenge, you know, because that's just the way they have been. They've never been pushing the top teams really, really tough enough. And I think now they've got a new impetus about them. They seem to have a bit more energy around the whole club, and they've brought some new signings in. And I think for us and for the fans who are watching, you think, can they have a go this year? And you think they look like they can. They look like they're going to be organised and they're going to put a run of results together where they may be able to challenge, and certainly challenge for a Champions League spot.
Sticking with North London, how worried would you be if you were a Spurs fan?
They did the business late last year, didn't they, Spurs? And I think Pochettino, did he not say at the end of last season they need to take a risk? And they certainly haven't taken a risk. They had a disappointing result. I think they got hammered yesterday in pre-season. That would be a worry. But as all teams, they're going to get the big stars back from the World Cup. And, you know, Spurs will look a different team, you know, once Harry Kane is leading the line.
And finally, I saw some lovely quotes from Pep Guardiola saying, you can't believe how much I've enjoyed going on tour with the young players for 10 days, seeing lads that really want to just be a professional footballer. In stark contrast to Jose Mourinho's moans and groans, having a load of youngsters at Manchester United. What do you make of those comments? And I'm particularly interested to hear from both of you on the impact if you were a 19, 20-year-old fringe player at Manchester United and you see all that in the press.
Look, in contrast to Klopp and in contrast to Pep, you know, talking about the young players getting the opportunity, it's very odd. Has there ever been a team approaching a Premier League season where there is a big team, where there is so much negativity? He's called Paul Pogba out. He's told the centre halves basically they're not good enough, and the young players. I mean, would they really? You know, is it going to be a happy camp, a happy dressing room? He's told, you know, those young players really they don't have a future at United. So, you know, does Mourinho want out? That is, and the stuff about telling fans not to turn up. What do the owners think about that? I mean, it's absolute madness. Where they finished OK last season, second in the league, I think Mourinho's words were second in the FA Cup, and they were sort of you felt they were a side who could push this season. But a bad start, and I tell you what, he's under pressure. OK, let's finish easily. Top four?
I think City, Liverpool, Spurs, and I'm trying to think who I wrote down earlier.
We're having a predictions game at BT Sport.
I'm the
you
same.
Got to get it right.
I think it was Man United.
Okay.
I was the same. Chelsea 5th, Arsenal 6th.
Yeah.
You're saying that, are you?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Arsenal 6th.
What's yours, Jake?
No improvement. I'm here to ask the questions, not ask
Come
the
on.
questions. The three to go down.
Oh, that's hard. I'm going to go Cardiff, although I love
Cardiff
Neil
bottom?
Warnock. Yeah, Cardiff. Why can't he just say the three to go down?
I want
Cardiff.
people in Cardiff to start sending
Cardiff,
me tweets.
yep. Huddersfield,
Yeah.
although they've spent a bit of money, and Watford.
OK, Dunny?
Same. Done the same.
Oh, look at
What's yours?
Thanks for joining us
Why
for this
bother?
Facebook Live. We will be building up in 1 hour's time, 2 o'clock, right here, sweltering pitchside at Wembley for the Community Shield. Chelsea and Manchester City going toe-to-toe. It's the traditional curtain raiser. Some people think it's a glorified friendly. In the words of Pep Guardiola, it's the first final of the season. Who wins it? Find out a bit later on BT Sport. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.